Anyone joining will be starting very soon. For any of you on right now, we'll be starting soon. You can type in messages, greet each other. I could also put in my information. There it is. All right. Let's see, how do I do this? Just turn them on. So you're on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. How are you?
Good. I can't see you.
Can't see it either. Let me see if I can fix that in the settings.
All right. But we just can we can talk as we're going.
You bet.
So I'll just do my little intro. So hello, everyone. I'm really excited. This will be my first live interview. As you know, our first guest had a personal emergency, but we'll catch up with him later. Today, we're going to be talking to Ryan, the Beast McMullan. I'm going to let him tell you what Beast stands for later. What this show is all about is, I don't know why I'm shouting, but what this show is all about is inside leaders' heads. So what that's about is, what I'm all about is finding your voice. So everybody has their own passion, their juice, there you go. So that what makes you tick. And by the way, if you have anything in the green screen, it's still green, but it looks kind of cool without the green screen. Anyways, no one can see this because I have a header up right now. Don't be a fish trying to climb a tree. That's from a misquote by Albert Einstein. I love it. Basically, what the misquote says is that if you expect a fish to climb up a tree, it will be oh crap, I don't even know. But anyways, expectations all its life, it'll just feel inefficient or whatever. So don't be a fish trying to climb a tree. Find what your passion is, and then we'll move forward. So what the show's all about is I'm bringing on leaders and people that I really respect, and we're just going to pick their brain. The format of the show is kind of, if you ever saw Inside Actor Studio by James Lipton, I kind of stole a thing from him, but we're kind of framing it, focus it on passion. So basically, here I'll go to the, can you see the screens, like the slides and stuff?
You asking me, Mark?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. So the format is, first we do an intro. So I'm just Mark Vancouver. I'm the CCO, the Chief Creative Officer of EOC Studios. That we just launched that website. Have any feedback? It's not really robust yet, but it's there. Just wanted to get that out there. Basically, that's what I'm all about. And then I'm going to allow just Ryan to introduce himself. And we're not going to talk about the passion or anything like that, but just kind of brief introduction. Who is Ryan McMullan? And I'll get rid of this so we can see your face. There he is. He's on the planet Mars, green background. So that's my fault. That's not Ryan's fault. So he has a green screen, and I don't know Wirestream and Restream good enough yet to help him out. But anyway, so go ahead, Ryan. Who are you? Why are you here?
My pleasure. It's great to be here, and I've enjoyed the times that we've been able to collaborate so far, and this is another opportunity. So honored to be your guest, my friend.
Thank you. I'm honored to have you on. So that's first thing we're gonna talk about. I'll kind of do that. So the body, basically, it's like in 3 sentences or less, just say what makes you tick, and then we'll just have a casual conversation talking about your orange story. Or not orange, your origin story. That's right, his orange story. And then we'll talk about his apple story and his cantaloupe story. No, his origin story, like how you discovered those passions. And then we'll keep coming back to the screen so you don't have to memorize all that. But first, kind of and you can take more 3 sentences. I'm just kind of, so like in 3 sentences less or more, what drives you? What makes you tick?
You bet. Well, I'm a husband and father first. People are my passion, is my passion, and leadership became something that I learned how to do. Put it differently. Leadership became my passion as it was fueled by the people that I worked with and around and served, and ultimately fueled by my family. So family man first, leader second. And I'd like to still think that I'm an athlete, but still have a very strong love of the game of hockey. But, those days are behind me.
Oh, just give us a little brief thing about the hockey thing, because that's awesome. Just a little
Yeah, you
blurb
bet.
about your hockey days.
My all the way up until I had the opportunity to play NCAA Division I college hockey many moons ago, and all the way up until that point, I even left high school early to leave the state of Alaska and travel all around North America and play junior hockey with the ultimate hope of playing Division I college, which I was able to. And then the game plan was to, whether it made it to the top levels or not, was to keep playing as long as I could, and then after that, coach. As we rode off into the sunset, and as life sometimes has different plans for you, the big guy upstairs, I met my college sweetheart, which I'm still married to 16 years later. We found out that we were having a little boy early, and that changed the life plan. So went up to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, and led originally as a field technician, radiographer, X-raying pipelines for damage. And eventually was blessed to be able to lead that group and then lead the entire group, inspecting the infrastructure in the Arctic that spans over 12 production facilities, 64 drill sites, and well pads, and thousands of miles of pipelines. So not many people know all that's up there.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, your hockey story is kind of like my rock star story. Thought I was gonna be a rock star, and
nothing wrong with that. I see the music. I see the gear. Love it.
Oh, wait a second. That's the wrong one. So that's kind of the origin story. Well, it's not kind of. It is his origin story. He's a family man. I love this guy. He's awesome. Maybe we're going to talk about mindset, and if you want, you can work what beast means in there. But kind of the questions. So, how does your passion drive you every day? And how do you think when you do that, when you live and you're living your passion, how do you think people see you in the world? I mean, when you're living your passion every day, how do people see you? And I realize I'm asking you to get inside people's heads, but knowing you've actually talked to people for feedback. So kind of give us that. And then, then we'll get to the other questions later. But so how does that drive you every day? And then how do you think that presents in the world?
You bet. I should let you know that I'm colorblind, so I can't see your purple writing. But
oh, really?
I'll
read it to you. I basically read it to you.
I'm color restricted. No, it's good fun. So answering your questions as orderly as possible. You might need to flash them back up there. I didn't mention.
You can't see them anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Now I can see the outline. I didn't mention that in that process, the last 2 years that I was up in Prudhoe Bay, I was a volunteer firefighter as well. And I think it's appropriate to bring up because I had the opportunity to, in March, 4 days before they locked the country down for COVID, they canceled the firefighter stair climb for cancer. It was the world's largest on-air stair climb for cancer in Seattle, Washington at the Columbia Tower. And so we were able to, with the help of some pretty amazing people, we were able to actually get the BP building in Anchorage, Alaska, which is 800 some miles south of the oil field, just north of where I actually live. And we recreated it, climbed the tower 6 times, and then a few extra stairs because the news crew pushed us on. It was all for a good cause. It was for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. And but we had a local boy that was fighting a rare form of brain cancer, Verl Bowen, and he was the principal, was his father at our school, and it was a pretty amazing story. Dedicated the stair climb to him and his rare form of cancer that he was fighting. And so to make the long story short, we thought it was a real amazing journey. We got his results back that everything had cleared, and he had a really good 6 months. And then in October they found out it was back in his brain and his spine, and relevant to bring up because just found out before this interview that he passed last night. So
yeah.
Definitely.
And I was going to mention that, but I want to bring that up. So
yeah.
I want to give this opportunity. I was going to do a moment of silence, but I'm like, that's selfish of me.
Oh, let's go ahead.
Let Ryan do. If you either want a moment of silence or lead a prayer, either one.
Yeah,
I'm fine. So you let us know.
You betcha.
You had the personal connection.
Yeah, he was. I had met him just went from finding out about his father, or I knew his father from Dad, always smiling and introducing people or shaking everybody's hand as they come into school. Amazing family, amazing man. And I got to meet him, as I was training for the climb. So, moment of silence would be wonderful, Mark.
Okay. So everybody, we're gonna have a moment of silence. What is his name again?
Verl, like Earl with a V.
Okay. We're gonna have a moment of silence for Virl or anybody in your life who's suffering or is passed. And so we'll just do it for about 30 seconds. So here's a moment of silence. All right, Virl and anybody else out there. I know you're still watching. I know you're still with us in our hearts. So that was for you, and we won't forget you. Yeah. So
Yeah, we appreciate
thank you
that,
for
Mark.
that.
And yeah, it's that's it's hard to say that that's life because and that it kind of leads into what makes me passionate about people, about leadership, and why I choose to do what it is that I do. The fact of the matter is, life isn't perfect. Leadership isn't perfect. You've run large programs and teams, and we'll transition into that. The big picture that and the reason that was really, there's a story for another time that really inspired me to do that climb, which really was the local boy. But it all came down to doing the right thing for the right reason, a personal sense of integrity and drive and purpose. And I think that thread is common in strong leaders that I've learned from and helped me develop into the leader that I am. And now I teach that to others. So in times like this, where you really don't have the words, because there's a family out there right now that's really hurting. It can be tough to find the gratitude, but you have to. So I can't imagine what that's like. We've been through a couple of bumpy roads with the kids over the holiday, but there's no comparison and no complaints. So we're doing good, and we're focusing on our family right now and our people.
Yeah. And I just wanted to give you a shout out for your integrity. So just so people don't know, he would never say this, but I'm not going to say you're an overachiever. I'll just say you're very diligent, disciplined, and a determined guy. And he's actually launching part of his program today, like in what, a half hour or so?
After this,
Yeah.
we're going through a new version of. So I've been coaching people one-on-one and working with companies and individuals on their leadership. My specialty is empowering millennial leaders to perform at the highest level without the anxiety, overwhelm, and stress. So now we've got a new team that's going to be going through our online platform as well as the group coaching for the first time. And like anything else, there's technical glitches and difficulties and support over the holiday, and that's life. So no, it's totally appreciated that you bring it up, and we're pulling it all together and looking forward to this next new chapter with our company.
Yeah. And that's the reason I shouted out for integrity, because you scheduled this prior to knowing all this crap was going to happen today.
Yeah.
And then you experienced some problems. And so many a lesser person, Ryan, would go, "Hey, Mark, I had some unexpected issues today, and therefore I can't make it. We'll have to reschedule." But did he do that? No. He simply said, "Hey, can we do this in a half hour instead of an hour?" And I said, "Absolutely. Just want to get you on there." So that's my shout out to your integrity. That is a great example of integrity. You made a commitment. You're keeping with the commitment, even though there's a challenge. So that's
no, I appreciate that. It's life is good, Mark, and I've been that person before on both sides of it, where somebody has something that comes up, and I've been that person that or has been on the other side where you're hosting an event and it doesn't happen for whatever reason. So no worries, it's my pleasure, and that's really one of the lessons that I teach first, not only in mindset but in really calibrating yourself as a leader, especially of a company, is that expect the unexpected and adapt and overcome. I mean, you really have to.
So I prompted you a couple of times because I didn't want to, blow your glory. But can you tell us what BEAST means?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So it's an acronym for Be Excellent and Start Today. It embodies really living and breathing the leadership disciplines that we teach. And yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it is. It's a little bit masculine, but in essence, what we do is we blend not only that hardcore driver that we have at our core from what it takes to go out in 74 below and produce for 12 hours a day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, as the teams that I was fortunate enough to lead did. But with leadership, there are things that are referred to as soft skills. I prefer emotional intelligence. That if you don't blend the two together, nobody really cares how good you are. Nobody cares about really anything if you can't relate to others and get the best out of others. So that's what we teach.
Yeah, I just like that acronym because, I mean, to me, here I'll go back to the things, but I'll read it. So, like, how does this drive you a day, and how the world sees it? Oh, I got to redraft. Good thing you can't see that because it is grammatically incorrect. I'll have to fix that.
Looks good to me, Mark.
So how does the world see it and what you do? So Beast to me, I mean, yes, you're Ryan, but Beast just kind of sums it up because not only do you promote that in your programs and other people, you live it. You are being excellent and you're starting today and you continue and you're excellent every day. So, yeah. So so the two questions were, how does this drive you and every day? I think that's mindset. So you've pretty much covered that, but you can add to that if you want. And then how does the world see it, like through your actions? So if you have any more to say about that, that's cool. Otherwise, we can move on to the next question. So bring our faces back on. So
You
mindset
bet.
and action.
You bet. So one of the reason that we came up with a logo is it was a natural progression from the athletic background that I have. And one of the things that I teach is you have to, again, this is all if you want to win, if you want to be excellent, if you want your team to produce, not just do what you say, but understand the why behind all of it. And you have to get people to embody an idea, a belief, buy into something that is much bigger than themselves. So with visualization, we used to teach athletes how to picture themselves as an animal or as a beast, was one of the things that we used to say. And the fact of the matter is, once you embody that character, then it's a standard that's higher than anything you set for yourself. So in psychocybernetics, Dr. Maltz talks about being 10 feet small or 10 feet tall. And really it comes down to that essence, that self-image, that self-worth. And those are the foundations. Once you work on yourself and build that part of it, then you can start leading other people and eventually into the teams. And that's where we take through a high level 3-step methodology process that really has such a foundation that's built. It's unshakable when the unexpected happens, and being prepared for that unexpected is paramount when you're leading complex organizations and projects.
So I hate to say it, but I had a little small but curious thrill that because I hold you in high esteem, so that you're having technical issues uploading your training material. So a little part of me went, yes, Ryan has technical problems too.
Yeah, I do.
I've been having technical problems all week, and I'm like, oh,
yeah, leader. Honestly, and I'm it's something that I've always, I wouldn't say tried. It's just a standard that I've held myself to is and you can't help secondary effect build loyalty from it. Is being honest when things don't go right. One of the first things that happened when I onboarded a new group is I reached out to them and said, hey, leadership lesson in real time. When things don't go well, communicate. And that's what I was doing to them, letting them know that things weren't perfect yet. We're switching to a new platform, and which is ultimately going to be better for them. Now they can upload the material when they're on their way to work, on the way home, iPhone, iPad, tablet, regular cell phone, any platform, any computer. And really it's a better experience for everyone. And long story short, those are never going to be perfect. And what you have to do is communicate. And what I explained to that group was, hey, I don't have any problem. I'd prefer to do all these face to face. So if we can do these over our group calls until this is ready and uploaded for you, then all the better. And we adapt, and you're honest and you're delivering value. People resonate with that because they know in their lives, things are far from perfect.
Yeah. So Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to violate rule number 157 of host and interview. So as some people know, my kind of reason for living is music plus tech plus writing equals fun and passion. So you struck the little inside of my head, back of my head is like tech, tech, tech. So the question is, what platform did you move from? What are you moving to? Could you just, I mean, I think people can learn from them. Other people are going to do online training and coaching and all that kind of stuff. So maybe they can learn from you. What did you go from?
Certainly.
What did you go to, and what's better?
Yeah, certainly. So we had previously been delivering things one-on-one, and with a lower volume, it was very, very easy to utilize traditional means of email, of cell phone, of text message, et cetera, sending videos on an as-needed basis. Now that we're growing and bringing things to scale, we were looking through different platforms like Thinkific. There's a few other ones that don't come to mind, but we really went all the way through and decided to settle on Kajabi, which is a wonderful platform. You can deliver it in a variety of means. The actual processes aren't that hard. It's just a matter of converting things from Canva and Camtasia and the other things normally that I would have a team do, but over the holidays, getting other people to do it just wasn't feasible. So been learning a lot of that stuff the hard way. And again, adapt and overcome, and it doesn't have to be perfect. We're getting the material to them. And that's one of the first things that I say in the training is my course is different, because leadership is raw. And a lot of times it's very unpolished, unvarnished. So we're going to be delivering this in a manner in which don't expect a lot of fluff. Just expect candor, expect simplicity, expect executable strategies and tools that will benefit you. If you want a plaque on the wall and a 450-page PDF of theory on how to do things, there's plenty of other programs out there.
Cool, awesome. So just for other people, Kajabi.
A great program, lots of support. Not too bad once you get past the initial learning curve. So I expect the rest of our hiccups to be very minimal, and they seem to have a pretty support team. So in the end, I think it's going to be a lot of less heavy lifting.
So is this, you've had other customers though, right? This is just the first big customer, or?
No, this is the first that's going through this new platform.
Okay.
And it just happens to coincide with the holiday, and it happens to be all brand new, where everything was delivered, face to face. And once upon a time that was in a boardroom, and now it's over Zoom calls and
Right.
situations like this where, and that's a lot easier to do even with a one-on-one person. And then you're starting to bring teams in. So we made the decision to transition to the Kajabi platform to make things more repeatable, more uniform than if we want to customize something for somebody or a group, build them an onboarding platform to bring in new people to their company. We can do all those too. So there's a couple sides to our business, but basically this is allowing us to scale and deliver high value for people on their chosen devices.
Cool. And I mean, earlier on you mentioned emotional intelligence, and for me, that emotional intelligence is like how you influence people to action and lead them. And so when you're face to face with someone live, I think there's 4 elements of communication. There's content, intent, tone, and I can't think of the 4th one right now. Anyway,
Tempo.
those are more easily represented when you're face to face. So when you're on Kajabi or you got tech, or like now we're live, but we're not like face to face. What are some tips for people? Like, how do you convey that your commitment, your integrity, those things across this new technology? Because I think that going forward, we're all going to have to deal with that.
Oh, certainly. It's and I'll tell you what, it took me years to, I would never say I perfected it, but I became a proficient public speaker. And I really enjoy it. I love getting to take a room that's very cold and start to get them engaged and make something that's fun and enjoyable and palatable so that they are able to receive a message. Sometimes shock value is a lot of fun with that, and throwing curveballs, things that they don't expect. All for a purpose, all for what does the room need? And there's a lot of nonverbal cues. There's a lot of tools and techniques and tips and things that we train on for when we go back to what normal is going to be. It'll be a little while before you get big groups back together, but it's something that we learn to thrive on. Then all of a sudden, we're thrown in front of computer screens. Everybody's working remote, and
right.
became very, very difficult. What started in our group as a Microsoft Teams meetings, and there's some brilliant guys that I used to work with that really took that platform to the next level. We saw the advantages and disadvantages, and it was a whole new skill set, because even people that you knew for a very long period of time and had a lot of rapport with, all of a sudden had no idea what to do with the glass in front of them. So and then at that point in time, when we were still on the teams in the Arctic, we had to adapt and get everybody in front of an actual camera, because not everybody had those at their desks, or a combination of mobile devices, et cetera, teams out in the field. So it really took that adapt and overcome methodology, that mindset, to another level. So we learned in a short period of time how to start to relate. And although maybe I'm not doing the most wonderful job with it right now, is try to be succinct, try to have representations, try to have bullet format. It does take a lot more prior preparation. It really also takes a tremendous amount of mental resolve, because now let's say it's not you and me and you've got a presentation in front of you or something that you're recording, you're going to have to learn new software, and there's a bunch of it out there, to make sure that what you're presenting actually aligns with the visual representation. And I'm oftentimes a very large fan of one single slide or a very few slides and not overdoing it, the death by PowerPoint. But that whole dynamic changes now that we're not in front of somebody. So it's just two different sides of the philosophy, in that you've got to keep people's attention. And I think that all comes down to the original message, your intent, and your delivery. I think it has less to do with the means, and more of, like you had mentioned before, your integrity and your authenticity. I think it's going to be received relatively well. Maybe there's some ways that are better than others, but it really comes down to the message.
Sorry about that distraction, but we're going simultaneously on LinkedIn Live and Facebook. This is my second experience with Facebook. And apparently they could hear us. There's 3 people watching us on Facebook Live. They could hear us, but they couldn't see us. So I was like, oh, anyway.
Yeah, it's technical. I've been learning a lot from Travis Lochner. He's a great guy to follow. I saw you chime in on a couple of those. He's the master of the new streaming world, and sets that up for people and creates their own shows, and hope to work with him moving forward. But again, keeping things simple, not overcomplicating it. And then here's the other thing, whether it's leadership, whether it's working on a team, working with other people, and then learning something new. I think in my opinion, there's a strong distinction between this isn't hard, it's new. And I heard that, I believe it was Tim Kennedy, the Special Forces former Green Beret, I think he's still a current Green Beret, talking about learning new things. And it's so true. It's really easy to be hard on yourself when you're really trying to force things. And one of the things we teach our leaders is to do all of these, to approach your team, to approach new tasks, to approach new challenges with a relaxed body. And that's a skill that's learned. And it's definitely interesting teaching this and then having to live it and embody it on a daily basis.
That's the problem, right? If you're a teacher,
yeah,
and you don't live it.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
You're gonna
go. Yeah, your credibility is blown if you don't live it. That is
right.
We learned early on as an athlete, and then into early leadership opportunities, that if you don't do what you say you're going to do, your credibility is blown, like we said, and hold yourself to a higher standard than anybody else could have of you is a great place to start.
Cool. So I know you're short on time today, so I want to be respectful. We'll try. Well, no, we're not going to try. We're going to wrap it up in the next 6 minutes, but I kind of want to make sure we hit everything. So I think we hit mindset, actions, evolution. And you also talked about what you're doing now that you're most passionate about, living it every day in every way. I could be a testimonial. Oh, what was that? Was it Entrepreneur?
Pardon?
Interview where you had videos of people that used to lead and they did testimonials?
Yeah.
Testimony, I could do that because of all the people I know, there's maybe a handful, and you're one of those handful who's living it every day in every way. So I really appreciate that. We're going to move on to what I call well, actually, we didn't address one thing, so let's address that. So do you think that your passion evolves your entire life, like, or is it something you discover and then you just pivot a little, tweak it, or you think people's passions change dramatically over life?
I think it all feeds on one another. There are some people that are extremely passionate about things, and then they run into a wall and they find themselves passionless for a while, and then something reignites that spark. I think there are some people that are passionate about one thing and it leads to another. I think life's an evolution, and I believe that it has been for me, and I've lived and experienced all those things. It took me a long time to understand and I wasn't prepared for it. When I left the support that I had from 25 other guys for the majority of my life, and became a dad for the first time, and then was not forced, but presented with new challenges that I had never seen before in work environments, in being away from 25 other guys that were literally with you almost all the time. And it was a real
Kind of in life and death situations too.
Yeah, and there was some. I never realized how much I really relied on that support cast until it was gone. And then that's growth. That was my journey. It was just something that I had been accustomed to for a really long time. So that crutch wasn't there anymore. There are good things and bad things that come along with that. And there was a lot of growth in a short period of time. And I remember just really wanting to be great and have that opportunity. And I was searching for a mentor. And I thought I had found one, and it turned out to be a pretty rough situation after about 3 months in one job that was very, very frustrating, and then kept digging and found the opportunity in the Arctic. And then, the rest is history. Ended up leading the team that executed the largest work scope that had ever been assembled with the largest workforce, and had never been delivered in the 33-year history of the program, with zero carryover. And we did it. And that's where the term execute the impossible came from. They called it the impossible work scope. We rebranded it right away and called it improbable, and went to work. And it took 365 days, all the way up to 11:57 p.m. the night of the 31st, but we got it done.
Cool. So now we're to the portion where I call it the shameless self-promotion. So you can lead with like any advice you have for others based on this conversation, like a thought you want to leave with people, and then shameless self-promotion. We didn't have time to change your things to ping, so I can't show them here. But if you send me email or message me on LinkedIn, any contact information, and I'll add it to the LinkedIn stuff. So shameless self-promotion. Take the next few minutes. Anything you want to say about Ryan, about the Beast Mode, about your company, how to contact you, what you're up to, all that good stuff.
You bet. Well, first and foremost, Mark, I really appreciate the opportunity to come on your show. Always a pleasure to get to talk to you. And the advice that I have for anybody is we'll start with my specialty, my skill set, and I think we chatted about it before. But my particular skill set is leadership, team building, and my target audience, the people I help the most, are millennial. Excuse me. I empower millennial leaders to perform at the highest level without the anxiety, overwhelm, and stress. And the reason that I do that is so that they can perform at the highest level, so that they can execute with precision, clarity, and confidence, and pass that along to their teams. So right now, more than ever, leaders are being asked to do more with less. So my recommendation, what I would tell people to do, is take a step back, figure out what it is that you want, identify all the things that are getting in your way, and reach out to a coach. Maybe that's someone like myself. Maybe it's somebody that you need inspiration from, but start following great leaders and start building the toolkit that's going to serve you, because in 2021, things aren't getting easier. They're going to get worse before they get better. So if you'd like to work with us, give us a call. You can go to beastleadership.com. I offer everybody a free 20-minute coaching session that's serious about upgrading the quality of their lives and becoming a great leader. And I'd be happy to do that for anybody on this call.
Cool. So remember that, people, beastleadership.com, and I'll put that both on my Facebook comment. I'm pointing over there because on my screen, that's where it is, on my Facebook group comments, and also on the LinkedIn Live. So I know you got to go do great things and support your company. So you're welcome to stay. I'm only going to take like 2-3 more minutes where I since it's my show, I get to do shameless self-promotion right now. So
Please do.
Okay. So basically, what this was Inside Leader Head. I want to really thank Ryan McMullan. It was great. Carl, Sean Watkins couldn't make it yesterday. He may be coming on Friday, but I'll definitely get him in January. He had a family emergency, so it's completely understandable. And it just, maybe I'm selfish, maybe I'm stupid, I don't know, but family emergencies trump everything. So if it's just an overcommitment or stuff like that, that doesn't trump. But if it's like a family emergency, you got to go take care of family. It's me, it's God, family, then me, any of that stuff. Anyway, so tomorrow we're going to talk to Zareen Ben Amara. She's also known as the Smart Woman. She's really good about self-branding. She puts on a lot of great videos. We'll be talking to her tomorrow. And then Thursday, we'll talk to Jeff Clark. And this is the format. And I just want to, here, I'll take this off, and then I'll end with my tagline. So thank you, Ryan. I wish you all the success in your launch today and forever. I mean, you got a bro for the rest of your life, sir.
Likewise.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying getting to know you. You fascinate me, and just all the experiences you have and all the stuff you do. I love you, man.
Likewise, my friend. It's a pleasure, and I can't wait to contribute to your mission in any way. You just say when.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll do this again, and maybe change. Obviously, we'll change the questions because we already have that. And so I always end with this: living your best life creates a better world for everyone. So hopefully, with your colorblindness, you can see that one. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, I can see.
Okay, because I knew the purple threw you off. I'm like, I didn't even think about that. So just want to thank you, and good luck, and we'll talk later.
Thanks,
everybody else, see you later.
See you, everybody. Thanks for having me.
All right, bye.